So, good morning and welcome to another edition of FanFormula. We're getting all excited now because it's Grand Prix weekend next weekend, so it's all very, very exciting. But since it's not Grand Prix weekend yet, sad face, we'll talk about the testing in Mugello. So, on with this week's FanFormula questions. So, question one: did you take much interest into the test at Mugello, or would you rather see developments have been made when the teams brought them then to Barcelona? To be honest, with the test, there wasn't that much coverage, I don't think. With regards to the tests we had at pre-season, um, obviously I think it was all over Twitter mainly because we had no other Formula One to have. This test seemed to have got really overlooked. I didn't seem to see it, come on Twitter a lot. So top of the test sheets. This has happened. It seemed a bit very hidden away, and I don't know whether it's because Mugello's quite hidden away as such, and maybe that's why we didn't see it. But to me, obviously it's valuable to the teams, but for the fans, I didn't see a lot of point to it really. And obviously, I hope they have made developments at Mugello, because if they have, it means obviously they will bring them to Barcelona, and which means it'd be an even better race than we had previously. So hopefully they've done all they need test wise, but yeah, it was a bit of a dry test really for the fans. Question two: do you think it was a mistake by the McLaren team not to use either Jenson Button or Lewis Hamilton over the test, especially seeing that Hamilton stated a particular need and interest to go? Just because a driver really wants to go doesn't necessarily mean that's what he's got to do. At the end of the day, the team have decided to send other drivers. That's their choice. They pay their drivers a lot of money to do press and test days and things. And if they think they're not going to get much valuable data out of it and they can use their test drivers instead, then that's McLaren's choice at the end of the day. Even if Hamilton wanted to go, at the end of the day, they're still so close at the top. I don't understand why Hamilton would feel the need to go, because it's not like he's doing, so badly in the championship really. So, maybe he wanted an advantage later on, but because we don't use Mugello as a race circuit, I don't understand where the advantage for Hamilton would come from if he went. Question three: what do you make of Petrov's comments about the Mugello circuit, and do you agree, and why? Petrov stated, and I've got this. I'll get this ready for what I've got to say. You can tell I have a lot of favourites because it's right down at the bottom. Here we are. I got F1 Fanatic for the quote as such, so I won't be a second because I wasn't prepared this morning. You can tell it's early. So people like Mark Webber basically said that the circuit was more satisfying to drive on. He quoted us on Twitter as did 10 dry laps today around Mugello, which is the same as doing 1,000 laps around the Abu Dhabi track in terms of satisfaction. And Vettel and Ricciardo, Rosberg, Senna, and Verne also really praised the circuit. It was Petrov that said, I'm not sure the track is right for today's F1 cars," he said yesterday. "You get very close to the walls and it's a bit small for cars now, but it's still a good challenge put together a quick lap." He told Autosport, "I don't think we should come here, it's not safe and wide enough." The thing is, that's Petrov's view. I've never been to Mugello. I can't suggest, I don't think it's very safe or it's the safest circuit ever. I've never been. I can't give opinion. Petrov's done enough racing and gone around enough tracks to say what he thinks. And if he thinks the track's not safe, he has every right to say it's not safe. I still don't understand why we use Mugello. It makes not a lot of sense, really, why we use Mugello. It's one of Ferrari's main bases, so they've got a huge advantage over this. And I do sort of not get why we did use Mugello. And if Petrov thinks it's not very safe, which when we've seen the aerial view, we know it's not really, because it doesn't have a lot of runoffs, and it's more trees and walls because of the area it is in Italy. Yeah, of course it's not going to be as safe as other tracks because it's not used for racing, it's just used for testing. So I understand where Petrov's coming from, but the FIA and the teams wouldn't have picked it as a test circuit if it really wasn't safe. So considering Petrov's the only person to say something, I just don't know. And the bonus question is, do you think that because the teams use Barcelona to test that there isn't as much excitement about setup as the teams are because they're quite aware of how their car performs at the track? No, not really. I don't. Do you think the teams use Barcelona to test? Is it as much excitement? No, not really. Barcelona is still always quite an exciting track. At the end of the day, tracks evolve over the year through gradient, the tarmac and everything. So it's always a slight change from the previous year and from the previous time they've tested. So I don't sort of get that really. That because they've not tested there and they've got all their information anyway, it's fine, because at the end of the day we still test on tracks we race at because they evolve. You don't go to Barcelona or any other racetrack if you've tested on it and go, well, we don't need to test there anymore because we've raced on it once. You know, that's the point of testing, is you're testing car parts, you're testing the change in the track. Barcelona is still going to be exciting. Yes, the test is a bit weird that it's in the middle of the season and we normally have that gap for development and all things like that. But there's still been development going on whilst we've had the in-season test. So really, it's a bit of a convoluted question, really, because, you can't say, oh, we've been to Barcelona once, they've got their information, so they don't need to test ever again, because you do. And I understand why it's been great that we've had in-season testing in this gap, because not only have they got developments, but they've had a chance to test these developments before they get to Barcelona. So they've seen all the niggles and everything that's going on, and they can use it to their advantage in Barcelona. So we might see some really good racing. So yeah, that's this week's very sort of rambly and weird fan formula this week. Obviously next weekend it is Barcelona. Yeah, I will probably post the Queen and Maserati Caballé video a lot over the weekend. So if you're on Twitter, you have the misfortune of probably hearing that a lot. But yes, so this is this week's fan formula. Everything you need to know, like my blogs and Twitter and everything that's going on, it's all down in the comment box. Well, it would be in the comment box if I can actually be bothered to write it in. But hopefully, if I'm not lazy, it'll be written in the box. And yeah, and I'll see you next week for another edition of Fan Formula. So yeah, bye.